triggering change one heartbeat at a time. Battle for Freedom. Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo Fiber Radio. Oops. And I appreciate every last one of you as we get into another broadcast of Battle for Freedom. You know what? If you want to, my website, battle4freedom.com. But I want you to also go to mojo50.com. Do me a favor. Check that out. Share it out with as many people as you possibly can. The reason why I say this is because of the fact that mojo50.com is a wide variety of hosts. I'm not the only one that you can hear. I'm not the only voice. And honestly, to tell you the truth, do you only want to hear my voice, or do you want to hear a little bit more? Different perspectives and so much more. mojo50.com/schedule. Schedule, however you pronounce it, and do me a favor, share it out with as many people as you can. So today I want to talk to you about the idea of learning the power of no, embracing boundaries. One of the things that I find myself really stressed out a lot of times because of the fact that, hi, my name is Watson, and I have a problem of overcommitting. I put myself in 55 different endeavors, and I never really have room much of anything to get anything done, and everything is just completely clutterific. You know, what was it, a week ago I did the broadcast where my wife told me about clutterbug. I'm a clutter monster. My mind is cluttered and so much more, as I can't even go on vacation because I have so much clutter, because even when I try and do vacation, I am already taking on more than I need to. If you want to interact, go to facebook.com/Battle4Freedom. Leave a comment there. I see Heidi. I see Trisha. I see Lep. I see Curtis. Thank you very much. Curtis, welcome back from Facebook jail. I'm certain that, just do me a favor. Don't post the truth anymore, and I think you'll be fine. And there won't be any problems for you in... Oh my goodness, what's this thing here? Yeah, my system Facebook decides that they're going to change everything, and I just got to get to go stop playing and doing what I don't want it to do. Trisha, thank you for being part of the program as well. But learning the power of no, this is key. And now a couple things I don't want you to say no to. One is American Pride Roasters coffee. American Pride Roasters coffee is historically great coffee and the official coffee of Mojo Fiber Radio. Wide variety of blends. I found like this, going to the store, I found this new coffee clipper thing. It's about like yay long, and it's a coffee scoop, and then you can actually clip it. It's metal. You can clip it to the side of the bag. I picked it up from Crate and Barrel. It's only about $5, but it reaches longer into the bag, so I can get that rich coffee experience that I love, and not have to stick my hands into the bag with the scoop that comes with it. I'm not against the scoop that comes with it, but one scoop, one solution. Actually, I might even show it to Ron and see if they, with Romika Designs, could probably laser etch something on there. But it's a really cool idea. So, American Pride Roasters coffee, the official coffee of Mojo Fiber Radio. Honestly, even as I sit here talking about learning the power of no, I'm wondering if this is something that, the biofeedback therapy from New Life Holistic and Anthony Malchiotti could resolve on the issue of, is there anything that helps people not say, no? Can you tune me to learn how to just do things that I'm only capable of doing? But that's something that's for another time that you could probably ask yourself if you reach out to Anthony Malchiotti from New Life Holistic. Trust me, you can't go wrong. So, one of the things is I have a major issue with overcommitting. I posted on my public profile, overcommit from Merriam-Webster, Webster's Dictionary, to obligate someone such as oneself beyond the ability for fulfillment. And it's probably one of the biggest challenges that I suffer on a daily basis. And when I find myself doing this, nothing arrives to the level of perfection that it needs to. I think that being completely distracted, it's like, the whole idea of, do I have all my ducks in a row? No, my ducks are dead. They are dehydrated. They're starved. I honestly, yesterday when I was walking to take care of a problem yesterday, I was walking behind one of the local. I was walking behind one of the Kroger that's not far from where I live, and normally I head south and I come around the Kroger to get to the places that I need to get to. But today I decided, you know what? Instead of heading south, I'm just going to head west by going behind the Kroger. And as I was driving there, walking there, I see this monstrosity of something that's sitting there. And it's like, is that what I think that is? And sure enough, it was a rat about this big. It was bigger than a softball. It was much bigger than a softball, but it was dead. And it was just sitting there on the side of the road. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's pretty bad. But it's sitting there, and you can't miss this. This thing is huge. And how is it still sitting there all these days later? And I sometimes feel like those are my ducks, dead, just sitting there. So once you notice that they're dead, but it doesn't overcome well. So, as I sit here and I'm trying to just revisit a lot of these different things, talking about learning the power of no, I find myself overwhelmed at times because I just don't know how to say no. If we all get serious about this, there's to some capacity, to some degree, we all have a superhero complex that needs its kryptonite. We have a Superman complex that needs its kryptonite, and sometimes God has to let things clutter up so badly that it overwhelms you, and then you have to stop drowning. Let's get into some of these stories, and I'll talk a little bit more about this. I don't have the story, I don't have the video for this, but this was a sad one. See, when you're not, even at the corporate level, there's a level of overcommitment. At the corporate level, the overcommitment to the idea of being woke. In society, there's an overcommitment to, sometimes you can overcommit yourself to doing things so much, like they're trying to even bring in the wokeness and equality and equity. It's like, instead of equal opportunity, everyone's trying to create equal result, and in the process of creating equal result, everything goes completely haywire. And here's one. I don't even want to put the graphic up for this because this is disgusting. I'll come back to that one in a minute here. But this one is really troubling as I look at this thing here. Minneapolis. Oh, Lord Jesus. Forgive me on this because this is really sad. Furious Minneapolis Teachers Union negotiates clause requiring white educators to be laid off first, regardless of seniority, to make up for past discriminations. Rule is part of a contract that ended 2-week strike this past March. The stipulation is part of a new agreement starting in the spring of 2023 between the Minneapolis Federation of Teachers and Minneapolis Public Schools. Part of the agreement was an attempt to reformat how the school district hires and keeps teachers of color. The new contract says that they may go outside the order to avoid layoffs to a teacher who is a member of the population underrepresented. This prioritizing may apply to bring back teachers who were laid off should rehires occur. Okay, so here's one on the no. Because there has to be an issue of embracing boundaries and understanding. If there is no acceptance of racism, there literally is no acceptance of racism. How can you not see this as the highest form of racism in basically saying that white educators should be laid off first, but we make certain that black educators are represented more? I believe that it's sad that there's a number of teachers in our school systems who can't respect boundaries. They know that they're not supposed to engage in inappropriate relations with the kids, boys and girls, but they do it anyway. There are teachers who basically take a role in the position that they put themselves in a position of authority, and they warp the minds of our kids. They go beyond They go beyond teaching and get into the social area of aspects. They should have been a social worker instead of a teacher. So what they do is, instead of finding their work in social work because they can't get it, they then turn around and put on the bonnet and they put on the cap of being a teacher, and then they do their insipid work. But then there's this segment of teachers where I believe represents probably the majority of teachers who are out there, who love kids. They love sharing. They love sharing. They love educating. They love seeing bright young minds grow and get educated and become, future contributors to society. But there's a problem, though, because of the fact that, unfortunately, in the midst of that, there's a problem that teachers have, that pastors have, volunteers have, a lot of people have, is they don't know how to say no, and they feel like, well, if I don't do it, no one will. And sometimes that mentality, if I don't do it, no one will, moves and morphs itself into the most extreme forms of idiocy and practice that never should take place. Namely, this whole idea is like, okay, so you as a teacher, many of you who care, your profession is being destroyed right now because you guys don't know how to say no. You've allowed the unions to come in and change common sense, laws, rules, and regulations. And because of the fact that you're so fixated on helping the kids, that you embrace and bring in anything and everything to get your will, because you're saying that the ends justify the means. So at the end of the day, I want to help these kids, and I'm going to bring in anything that happens to help me achieve my goal. And I think that as a result of that, of not being able to have the gumption and the conviction to say no, we have to draw a line here. We have to draw a line. You suffer, and kids suffer. I'm telling you, this is disappointing. Because of the fact that here it is, we're looking at how many of these teachers who are white, they embraced wokeness. They embraced the idea of diversity and inclusion. They embraced the idea of everyone has a chance as a voice, and their voices are stripped. And many of you, what did you do? You went to school. You went to school and got an education to help the underprivileged, to help those that you believe in your heart of heart did not have their proper representation, that society kept saying no to them for so long, and now you're being thrown on the altar. They're sacrificing you. And the worst part about it is you paid for a degree to get that. You're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt because you took out student loans. You're paying $80,000 to $150,000 to $300,000 for your teaching degree, barely starting off at $24,000 a year, going to take you another 25 years to pay off that loan. But because of the fact that you refuse to say no to the insanity, now you're unemployed. And you can't help those kids. You've watched the system that has failed the kids. You've watched administrations that have completely failed the kids for so long just ruin the day. And at the end of the day, what do you get for it? I mean, this is heartbreaking. A lot of people say, well, that's what they get for being woke. Let's take a pause from that. Let's take a pause from that, okay? Of us feeling the incessant need to say people are getting what they deserve. None of us rightly get what we deserve. God has been extending mercy to us over and over and over and over again, and it's time for us to make some changes. I saw this. I wanted to scream. I'm like, how do you not see the racism in this? This is heartbreaking. How in the world could we ever embrace the idea and the concept of saying these white teachers, because I know many of them, some who have retired, who have availed themselves and sacrificed so much, took low payments and tried to feed kids. And a lot of them, because you knew what the unions were doing was wrong. But you keep letting these people get in there. You went to school for this stuff to figure out exactly what's right and what's wrong. And you know what these unions are doing is wrong. You know what your other fellow teachers are doing is wrong. It's time to get raw and real. Because the kids are going to be sacrificed as a result of our willingness to say no. My heart breaks about this. My heart really breaks because I know a lot of teachers. Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining. I know a lot of teachers who have got to be heartbroken on this. Why would you even stay in Minnesota? Honestly, I had a very good meeting yesterday with a gentleman from England who helped me realize a lot of things about myself. And we call ourselves volunteers. We call ourselves wanting to help out. But what we're doing is a lot of self-deprecation. We allow ourselves to be walked over, destroyed, just to save that one soul. Even if it means sacrificing everything about ourselves. Even if it means hurting ourselves because we take on more than we can handle. I just think of the teachers who literally feel like they've just been crapped on. I know I'm spending more time than I want to on this one, but this one, I still haven't fully wrapped my head around this story. If you're a white teacher and you're in Minneapolis and if you stay in this, because they've shown you have zero value. It doesn't matter how much seniority you have. It doesn't matter how much experience you bring to the table. We're willing to sacrifice you for an illusion of diversity, inclusion, and acceptance. You can't have a statement of diversity, inclusion, and acceptance when you're willing to reject people. And not on the basis of low or poor performance, but because of skin color. Literally, the message that you're teaching these minority kids is that it's okay to sacrifice whites to get things done. When is someone going to say, no, enough is enough? It could be your mother, your sister, your grandchild, your relative, your friend, your neighbor. You know the level of passion and commitment that they have to this. Because this isn't just only about teaching. This is in every area of America. This insipid nonsense of wokeness and equality is destroying families. It's destroying lives. This is what kind of boundaries are there if we're trying to say that we're all inclusive and we create this nightmare? I'm let me move on because of the fact that this is bad. Here's another one. This is with the Mail, where the Department of Justice asks judge to deny media requests to unseal the search warrant affidavit that led to the Mar-a-Lago raid because it would serve as a roadmap to the government's ongoing investigations. This is really sad here because the fact that you have to understand what they're doing here is they're trying to, when we need to be more transparent, that you understand. Like I said, I've already explained how much I struggle with Trump. But I've also explained that this whole raid thing was wrong, and they're continually trying to hide the evidence. I saw someone yesterday who basically said, if you say that Hillary Clinton's emails didn't matter, what happened with her bleached servers didn't matter, what happened with Barack Obama sealing the Fast and Furious doesn't matter, what happened with IRS and Lois Lerner didn't matter, what happened with Benghazi didn't matter, but you're okay with what happened in Mar-a-Lago, saying we've got to get to the bottom of this? Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Walk away. Learn to walk away from these people who do not have the ability to have a conversation because they want to live in their delusion. Walk away. Walk away. Walk away. But this should be, there are already problems, and they're trying to play, 9 hours that the FBI is sitting there with backpacks, and of course you're going to find stuff. Of course you're going to find things. 9 hours. At this particular point, the Banana Republic, a level of corruption we have never seen this before. Only in the movies. But for some strange reason, even now, you're willing to say, you know what? We want boundaries on racism. We want boundaries on sexism. We want boundaries on income inequality. We want boundaries on all these different things. We don't want to have boundaries on our government. Oh, no, the only boundary of government that we want to have is around Donald Trump. No. If the Constitution restricts our government, it doesn't restrict just one person from being in government. It seems like a lot of us need civics classes and common sense classes. If they're willing to do this to Donald Trump, they'll do it to any of you. I got to go back to this thing about the school. You sat there and embraced a doctrine of inconsistency and corruption and tyranny and bullyism. And now you are the victims of the very doctrines you refuse to reject. 2023, if you're a white teacher, you are on the axe. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Leb says they raided Trump's house because they were looking for evidence against Hillary. Yeah, I think he has a lot of. The house, the place. If you really want the truth, you need to raid the Clinton Foundation and Clinton stuff. That's when you really find out about the UFOs, who killed Kennedy, and so much more. Because I'm sure that Bill probably had a lot of stuff declassified while he was still president of the United States of America. But I'm not lying to you. This thing about what happened in Mar-a-Lago should really concern you. But what's so scary is all my social justice warriors, my social justice friends, who wanted to fight against the system, against corruption, are completely silent as this thing is taking place. This is Lep says Trump has a pending a RICO lawsuit pending against her. Well, this is the way you get rid of that evidence. I mean, they said that his passports were taken. They said, I love what I heard the person said yesterday. It was on YouTube, a video, I think maybe Fox News. They're afraid that Trump's going to run. He's got a huge plane with his name on it. It's really not that difficult for him to just disappear. You can't hide. Let's do this. I need to hide. I need to go to a break because this stuff is just insane. I'll talk to you on the flip side. Watson, bring you out. Enjoy the break.
John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. Romans 10:14 through 17. How then will they call on him who they have not believed? And how are they to believe in him of whom they have never heard? And how are they to hear without someone preaching? And how are they to preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who preach the good news. But they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah says, Lord, who has believed what he has heard from us? So faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. I share these passages with you because of the fact that we know John 3:16. We probably barely hear Romans 10:14 through 17. And most doubtedly, we never hear 2 Corinthians 5:17. Life as a believer in Christ requires change. To make a decision for Christ, we recognize that there is something wrong in our lives and we need to do different. We need to be better, but we can't be better on our own strength. So we hear the gospel message, moved by the Spirit of God, and we respond. I ask you now, if you've heard the message, please respond and live for his glory.
Triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for freedom. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 5 Radio, and I appreciate every last one of you as we sit here and we try and get into this broadcast and have fun. Let's see, what is it? Brandon. Let's see if I can get this thing working here. This doohickey working here and go from there. Because this is the truth. White and conservative have been on the axe for a few years in school. It more the conservative ones, but yes, it is now becoming white as well. I'm confused on that one, but I'll get back to you. I'm probably too early for you in the comments, or just a whole bunch of different thoughts at the same time. But one of the things as we're sitting on here is that there's a desire to destroy lives here, and people need to really be tired with this. Honestly, I went into this next image. This was a crazy one here, so forgive me that the image isn't perfect the way it needs to, but nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia would cause a global famine and kill more than 5 billion people. Study finds. New study says nuclear war between this would cause a global famine. More than 5 billion people would die of hunger following the conflict, and it shows firestorms would release soot into upper atmosphere and block out sun. Study was based on a computer simulations led by Rutgers climate scientists. I remember there was a meme yesterday that said that climate change is being blamed on everything now. Climate change is being blamed on everything. It's just this whole idea that, I think that this issue about the global nuclear war is where we're trying to get. We have near 8 billion people. We have to get rid of at least 5. And here it is. A nuclear war. I mean, think about this. 2 weeks ago, Nancy Pelosi goes to Taiwan, sparks outrage. This past weekend, a Democrat goes to Taiwan to spark outrage. We have Russia and Ukraine. We still don't understand everything that's going on there. But there's so many areas where we have people, everybody kept calling, the Republicans warmongers, but we literally have Democrats who are stoking issues and conflicts. We're paying into countries to money that we don't have, but we're giving them money to fight a war. No, I don't think you misunderstood, Brandon. Maybe my brain is processing too much at the same time right now, and I'll have to get back to you and revisit that and maybe better understand it a little bit. But I think that the problem right now is that, see, we can't fight back against tyranny. I'm telling you, we're going to lose this war. We're going to lose this war. See, everybody's hoping for this America that's going to be like what we were in the 1700s. We're hoping for this America of these patriots that are going to rise up against tyranny so that we can defeat the powers that be. It's not going to happen. I hate to break it to you, but it's not going to happen. And the reason why is because of the fact that we are all overcommitted. Yeah, let's bring this word in here. Let's bring this word here. Because as I sit here and I go through recognizing what I'm struggling with, that I've been overcommitted in so many different ways, I'm seeing that all of us, we can't get this thing done because of the fact that we're overcommitted and we don't know how. I got to go back to this definition here. Overcommitted. To obligate oneself, obligate or commit excessively, such as to obligate someone such as oneself beyond the ability fulfillment. We can't fix this problem because we're overcommitted to everything that has zero importance. And the reason why I say it has zero importance, because of the fact that we have our hands in so many different fires that nothing ever gets fully done because we're so committed to everything. So if it's not done, if it's not complete, it's a little closer to zero. We never get to the task of completion because of the fact that we're overcommitted and we take on too many fires at the same time instead of focusing at one at a time and getting more people involved who can help out on focusing at one at a time. Right now, we can't think about this, because it was overcommitted people who decided to blindly follow the powers that be on January 6th. Make no mistake. If we literally had time to interview the people who are sitting in jail right now, they will tell you, I didn't properly vet out the people. I didn't properly assess the situation. I didn't properly do my due diligence to understand exactly what I was getting into. I did not sit here and properly look into the eyes and soul of the people who were leading me into this quote unquote insurrection. It wasn't an insurrection. If there was any sin to be committed, it was negligence on the part of every person who participated in believing that the system was going to be torn down. We have people who are overcommitted. We have parents who are overcommitted. Their kids are in 15 different travel sports leagues, 17 different PTO conference things, 8 different other activity things that keeps them busy. They're driving all over. Every family right now, you could find the biggest problem is an inability to establish boundaries and say no. Yeah, amen, Carolyn. Stomp out the problems in America first. But the problem is we got to go somewhere else. We got to fix these other problems here. We're sending our troops, we're sending our soldiers across the world. My nephew is going to be deployed to hellholes. But we have more than enough problems here in our own country. But we don't see the need to fix the problems here first. Because we don't know how to say no. We overcommit. We overcommit our finances. We overcommit our military. We overcommit everything that we have, and then we expect everybody else to pick up the tab instead of finally saying no. Stop. I tell you, and the worst people on doing this are Christians and the church. Well, we need to have a pantry that we're going to feed people. Do you have people who are going to work the pantry? And I'm talking about people who have the freedom to do it, who aren't sacrificing their families. Well, we got to go feed the homeless. We got to go do this. We got to go do that. We need to have a singles ministry. We need to have this ministry. We need to have this ministry. Instead of basically saying, hey, why don't we use that one church that's down the street? They've got some of these things going on together. But we're fragmented because of the fact that we've got to do everything. We don't know how to say, don't know how to say no. No, we're not doing this. No, we don't have the resources to do this. No, we don't have the people to get this done. We need to stop and reassess whether or not we should keep doing this or we need to just stop. Because we don't know how to say it. We don't have boundaries. We're stretched out everywhere and we're supposed to be fixing everything. I mean, literally. You know, there's this meme I see. It was like 30 or 40, yeah. There's a meme with Al Bundy from Married with Children. It said that there was a point in time where a person could have one job and wife stays at home and afford a house like this. But somehow, some way, we try and put that on just on the government because their lack or their inability to stop spending and everything like that. I dare say that falls on the rest of us too. Because we have to have everything. We have to be doing these things. We have to have these tasks. We have to be overcommitted. And then all of a sudden, then we try and figure out where did everything go? Well, it's because of the fact that we stepped into stuff that we never had any business doing. We need to stop and be still. But you know what? It's interesting. Every time you run into a situation where people step in poop, is because they're moving too fast to pay attention to their surroundings. Every situation, you step in gum. You're so fixated on everything else around except your immediate vicinity. The immediate vicinity. You don't know how to say no. Let's get this on Brandon. I think he's now getting in my face here. A lot of people have the issue of helping others before themselves, though, mainly because they don't know where to start. You get in a routine, and that routine involves a cluster of your life put on the back burner. I got a forest fire behind me. I have a forest fire behind me. Kerry has a question here. They wanted to impeach Trump. Why can't we impeach Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris? Because that's not the focus. That's not the focus. I'm going to tell you, no. Don't impeach Trump. Don't impeach. But we have to stop. We have to decide when we're going to stop this stupid game of they did this tit for tat nonsense. Tit for tat nonsense is what gets us completely destroyed and never committed to actually doing something right. Just because they committed the evil, that's no reason for us to do the evil. We have to stop this game. The devil we are his playground. When we get wrapped up in this, we don't have the boundaries of basically saying, you know what, I don't have to walk away with a win here today. Because if I engage in this behavior, if I get engaged into retaliatory behavior, I'm only feeding the machine of hatred and just evil and wickedness. God's word says, do not repay evil for evil. But because they hurt us, we got to hurt them. Because they broke the law, we've got to break the law. I mean, seriously, when you sit here and you look at the whole equality movement thing, it's not about people having the equal opportunity for success. It's equal opportunity to do wrong. That's the problem. Is that they want to get away. And literally, when you sit here and you listen to the argument, when we sit here and we listen to the argument of what the woke people are doing. Oh, we just want free treatment in jail. An ounce of crack will get you 25 years, and an ounce of cocaine and heroin will only get you 3. We just want equal justice. No, you broke the law. How about we deal with that? You decided to break the law and you want equal opportunities or equal outcomes on breaking the law? How about not breaking the law in the first place? Instead of engaging in the stupidity of saying that we have to give everybody a fair chance at punishment, we don't want to deal with the situation that we should be avoiding the punishments in the first place. Why are we having this discussion about having equal outcome when people go through the punishment instead of dealing with the bigger problem than anything else? Why are you in jail in the first place? Why are you breaking the law in the first place? See, this is where we need to learn the power of no and say, no, stop this nonsense. Stop this equality nonsense. Stop this woke nonsense. And let's really bring back common sense here. Oh, well, black people are being disproportionately shot by white cops and the police and systemic racism and everything like that. Now, I'm not going to deny the reality of racism, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to ask, why are the cops there? Why are the cops there? Not because they're profiling. The girl in Cleveland area who got shot by that cop who literally had a girl lunging and he put 4 in her. Didn't hit anybody else. The cops were called to that location because a crazy black girl was running around with a knife trying to stab and kill people. Well, he should have shot her in the leg. Oh, wait. Ma'am, can you stop swinging the knife so I can shoot you in the leg so we can calm this thing down? No one wants to have that conversation. No one wants to have that conversation. I don't believe in no-knock warrants, but you know what? Hey, why are you guys messing around with drugs when you know it's against the law? See, everybody wants they want equal opportunity to break the law, and whites have been getting away with it for a long time. Corporate America's been getting away for a long time. It's time for us to get it. The Christians are actually saying that stupidity. Because other people have gotten away with it, we should be able to. That sums up the equality conversation 100 bazillion%. We want equal opportunity. We want the equal opportunity to break the law, do something wrong. Lep said it as plain as possible. The police go to where the crime is happening. And yes, Carolyn, the media is dividing us. Why did that not work? Yeah. Yes, the media is dividing us. But you have to understand, No. Yes and no. Yes and no. There's some truth to the there's some truth to that, but then I think there's more falsehood. The media is successfully disseminating misinformation to us, but we have the ultimate choice to decide whether or not we're going to believe the lie, believe the manipulations, or basically say enough is enough. We have that choice to decide. The problem is we don't have the ability or the time to discern because we're overcommitted in everything. We really are. We are so overcommitted. We don't know how to step back and do a better assessment of saying, okay, let me understand my surroundings. Let me get a lay of the layout. What is right now is preventing me from clearly seeing and understanding what is happening here. We've overcommitted ourselves and it has been to our detriment. But we have the choice of deciding whether or not we're going to allow what the media misinformation says to us to allow us to hate or despise someone else. Again, clearly what happened in Mar-a-Lago was a political police stunt, period. But if we allow that to anger us, and we've got to do something about it, And we didn't take it to hear chances. I'm saying to you, no. Pause. I talked about this the other day. The people who followed, they were just talking about, one of the guys who wanted to commit to kidnap Governor Whitmer. They testified about how their person was smiling and giddy when they drove by their house. You literally have people on a campaign to lead you to break the law because of the fact that they're looking at your incessant desire to exact justice and fix something, but do it not in God's way, do it in man's way. So when I say no to behavioral patterns and things like that we do, I'm saying it for a reason, because if left unchecked, we wind up finding ourselves aligning with someone who's going to turn around and who are posing as our friends, but in the end are getting us imprisoned for a long time. Yes, Carolyn, anger opens up the door for the devil. But because of the fact that we don't know how to say no, because of the fact that we don't know how to reject the ideas and the temptations to exact justice, again, do not repay evil for evil. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I will repay. I will repay. But because of the fact that we get so consumed and wanting to see the other side down, the other side lose, the other side fail, we're willing to embrace any kind of stupidity just to get our way. And then the lives that matter are the lives that are lost. I saw this. Let's see if I can do this one here. This is insane because this is happening more and more, and we're not paying attention. And because I believe that we're all distracted, we're all over committed. We can't even see this. This is there's not going to be any audio to this, but this is an image that I got where outrage after Arizona cops tasered and arrested 3 parents after they tried to force their way into a locked-down elementary school to protect their kids after armed man was seen trying to enter campus. Police say the parents were confrontational and forcefully pushing on the officers. Parents expressed frustration showing the school's lockdown, indicating that they wanted to enter the building to protect their children on Friday morning. This event comes 3 months after the following incident in Uvalde, Texas. A man with a handgun unsuccessfully attempted to gain access to the school, said the police, before the men fled the scene. I think that this happens. And no, Scott, I'm trying to learn how to say no, but it's an ongoing lesson, an ongoing challenge. See, every situation of a shooting, a stabbing, a drive-overing, plowing, every one of these characters have been involved in these situations. We were too busy to care. We were overcommitted to care. Every last one of these tragedies that's taken place. This guy who stabbed Solomon Rushdie. The signs were there. His family didn't want to pay attention. The Uvalde shooter. No one wanted to pay attention. The Parkland shooter. No one wanted to pay attention. Let's go all the way back to Columbine. Nobody wanted to pay attention because we were too busy doing everything else that no one wanted to say, should we be concerned about this? Should we be concerned? But because of the fact that we would be overcommitted and doing everything else, and that's someone else's problem. It becomes someone else's problem until our family becomes victims of our negligence and our indifference and apathy. We need people present. We need people present. I saw this one here. This is a really powerful one where well, actually, before I do that one, no. Actually, before we get back to this one, I'm going to come back to that one in a minute here. I'm going to come back to that one in a second here. Flash actor Ezra Miller finally apologizes and says they will seek treatment for complex mental health issues after multiple arrests and grooming and brainwashing teenager. Troubled movie star finally addressing their troubled behavior. Listen, this is how this is being reported because of the fact that because the way that the media and the way that social media and everything is set up is that by not calling somebody by their pronouns, they create a bigger problem. No, I'm sorry. The fact that let's be clear about this. There's a Bible passage where Jesus approaches this demoniac, and the person says, "What is your name?" And it says, "We are Legion." They wanted to be called Legion. We are literally embracing a mental instability where there are multiple personality disorders, and we're letting them walk freely on the street. Ezra Miller should have been imprisoned after the second or third offense. 2 or 3 times he breaks into people's house and he's still freely walking the streets? When do we say no? Oh, well, we need more therapy. We need more counselors. No, because every last one of those counselors lets the bullies back out on the streets, and they don't do what's necessary to make certain that they get the care that they need. Why? Because they're sycophants who have a desire to always be the superhero, so they allow the sycophants, they allow the psychos to continue to run through the streets so that they can always be the ones to pick up the pieces in the aftermath of the danger. See, it's time for us to say no to the people who keep putting these criminals back out on the street should be put in jail. The people who ignore these teenagers that have these clear problems, that clearly have these problems, that have no desire for rehabilitation. Stop letting them use jail as a revolving door. It shouldn't be a revolving door. If you have no desire, then push them on an island where they can be free to do whatever they want. Oh my goodness. Because we won't say no. There are clear problems with Ezra Miller. And it's time to even be clear about this whole issue with they. I'm sorry, if you want to call yourself they, you have a mental instability. And you may have multiple personality disorder. You may be schizophrenic. You may be bipolar, tripolar, quadpolar, whatever it is, but it's time to start having that conversation. All the chemicals that you've been putting into yourself, all the crazy leftist ideologies telling you to, embrace your 15th personality. These are the counselors. These are the people who want to have more presence in society to stop the wave of evil. And all you are is a little match in front of a tidal wave. No, you're a brick on the beach as a huge 1,000-foot tidal wave's coming through. You're not stopping anything. It's rushing right past you. That's what the crazy ideologies that are supposed to fix the world are doing today. Yeah. Let's go into this other one here. Because this is what we need more than anything else. Homeless man beats elderly man and steals his wallet at Hollywood restaurant before hero owner chases him down and holds him until the police arrive. Restaurant owner Tim Ratcliffe conducted a citizen's arrest on August 1st when he tackled a homeless man that beat up an elderly man and stole his wallet. The homeless man entered the outdoor seating complex of the Raffalo's Pizza, and he hit the elderly man sitting down with his dog. Ratcliffe, who was the owner of the restaurant in the shopping complex, was eating nearby when he jumped to his feet to tackle the mugger. You know, see, this wasn't a situation with a good guy with a gun. This was a good guy with a clue and a conviction to say no more. We need more people to step up to the plate to do this. But we can't do it if we're overcommitted in everything else. Please change before it's too late.